to build a skyscraper in your business, so we'll use that analogy, we really need this level to be fundamentally correct before we step through to that next phase of growth. Speaking of that next phase of growth, when we step up to that niche level, or niche, depending again upon where you are in the world, how you pronounce that, as you step up to that, you add that next segment of my definition. Commercial enterprise becomes a commercial profitable enterprise. This is really where you work on getting the dollar flow, getting the amount of money and the revenues up, and there ultimately the profitability up. We want profits in the commercial enterprise, but until the numbers are up, the profits will never get to be massive, if that makes sense. So at this niche level, we really work on a lot of the marketing, the bringing the revenues into the business and building it up. And this is an important point to recall. Unless we have a basic mastery of the business, unless we have that base fundamental level correct, no use doing the next level. No use doing massive marketing and getting great results and doing huge sales promotions and all these things if you can't deliver the product or service consistently. Or if the productivity of your people is so low that you don't even make a profit on each one that you put out the door. These things are vital to do first, then these things are vital to do second. And with all of the businesses we've built, and as I mentioned before, there's tens of thousands of them around the planet, we've found that a lot of business owners skip too much of that first stage and do that second stage. Now, a lot of business owners who skip the second stage as well, but we'll get more to that in a little while. Up to the third stage, where we add the next part of our definition of the business, the leverage segment. Now, what is leverage? My definition of leverage is ever more with ever less. What do I mean by that? Let's say, let's use a simple example. The inputs keep getting smaller and the output keeps getting greater. Less time, more outcome. Within any business, or let me take you one step back further. Leverage, the easiest way for most people to understand leverage is in the connotations of wealth and personal cash flow and personal wealth. Leverage really is about do the work once and get paid long term, whether it's paid forever or long term. See, for instance, my books. I have now 14. I'm in the middle of finishing my 15th book. Here's the thing. I write the book once. How long can I get paid for it? That's right, forever. In fact, 50 years after I die, my kids can still be paid for my books. You know, this recording here, I do it once. You can send this on to as many of your friends as you want, but I've done the work once. See, think of how many other business owners you know who really should be watching this. Friends, family, you know, members of your networking club, your clients, all the people that you could send this on and add value to. But how many times did I do the work? Only once. And this is the job of wealth creation. That's what leverage is all about. So in a business where we look at leverage, this is where we add the definition that works. It's about creating the business that works now, so that you as the owner don't have to. Doing that work once, so that ultimately the business will run without you and continue to provide profits whether you are there or not. Very important point. Ultimately, leverage is the key fundamental. My board game Leverage teaches you all about that, about how to do it. And the reason I designed it as a board game is because I want to drive it home to you so that you can play it again and again and again, so that you actually learn it, not just conceptualize it, if that makes sense. So let's move up to the next level. Team. Now, team is an interesting one because leadership and team building really go together. Leadership and team building are a vital, important ingredient. Here's the challenge. A lot of us in business try and do team building well before we should have. We build the team before we've got the profitability. We build the team before we've got that leveraged systematic methodologies of running the company. Team is about leadership and team, I suppose. Because ultimately, if you're going to build a commercial profitable enterprise that works without you, who's going to run it? You've got to develop a great team with some great leadership strategies and some great leadership people you leave behind to be able to have a company that runs without you and continues to grow without you there. See, it's no use just building a company that runs without you. You've got to continue to grow so that it can continue to provide better and further profitability for you and your family to do what you want to do. So ultimately, that's where we get to step 4. Step 5 is the synergy, and step 6 is the results. This is where the growth and the freedom kick in. Synergy, by the way, is where we really start to make some money. This is where we multiply the business. This is where we've now got the first office running. We've now got the first factory running properly. We now got the first retail store running properly. Now we can multiply that. We can do it in multiple areas, we can do it in multiple countries, we can do it in franchising, licensing, we can do it so many different ways. So we got to get through those first 4 steps to then synergy, grow the business across the board, multiply the business, that the model that already works, and then we can create the freedom for ourselves as business owners to go play golf, to go sit on the beach, to go do the other things that we want to do, spend time with our family, do philanthropic work, whichever area it is that you want to put your time into. Now, for me, as a business owner, I don't have to work in my company, but I enjoy doing things like talking to you here today. I enjoy doing things like writing books. So they're the things that I want to do, so I continue to do those segments of running my company. Do I enjoy the accounting? Absolutely not. I'm a trained accountant and I don't enjoy doing it. So what I try and do is make sure that that stuff gets done without me doing it. Let's go into a little more detail around each of these areas. I think it's going to be important. But before we do, this question that I put up here, where is your business at? At what level is your business at the moment? Now, if you're like the majority of business owners I meet, where your business will be is it'll be all over the place. You'll have some of the mastery done, some of the niche done, some of the team building, some of the leverage, some of the synergy. You know, there'll be some of each part of it done, but none of it's being followed in a process. Why is that? Well, because most of us are not taught to be business owners. What we're taught to be is employees. We're taught really well to be a great accountant, in my instance. We're taught really well to be a great hairdresser, a great accountant, a great plumber, a great pool cleaner. We're taught to do the work of our job, not how to run a business of our job. So ultimately, how we run the business becomes very haphazard. It's done in a way that is not structured. It's done in a way that is not professional. It's not done systematically. And that's really what we try and bring people back to and what I want to show you today. My book, The Business Coach, really goes into in detail a whole lot of this stuff. So make sure you read it to get the more in-depth knowledge behind what we're discussing and looking at here today.